Hello, all, and welcome to the Gamers Podcast. If you're new to this, we usually talk about anything related to gaming, but today we focus on desensitization and the side effects that video games have on people. Joined by me today is my good friends Keaton and Josh. Please introduce yourselves.
Hello.
Yo, what up? I'm Keaton. This is Josh. This is so.
Yeah, this is fun. Yeah. Today we will be talking about the perspectives of the consumer and the responsibility of the gaming companies and officials.
Perfect. And so, brings me to another reason. Should developers, game developers, and government be included in this conversation? Are they sort of responsible on this topic? So I would like to ask you guys, how can game developers communicate better to the audience how violent or how bad this game is for children?
Well, I'd say it all depends on the genre, really. I mean, right at the beginning, when you first buy the video game, there there's a label, like for example, PEGI 18 or rated R.
Or at the back where it shows all the potential things that go along with video games, such as sexual activity, foul language, violence, and other. It shows all of the casing, and they're doing the best they can. And they show it in the trailers also for the release of the video games.
Yeah, sometimes it says not for certain audience, it's not suitable, and I mean, this, if you give your child your credit card, then that's the only way they can get any game they want. In which case, that is so your fault. But I mean, in other cases, if it's not that situation, you should be able to see what game they're getting. You can search up the title and see what comes up immediately, or you could actually help them purchase the game. For me, it's actually because I'm 15. I think I should be well allowed to get whatever game I want. That's my opinion. I mean, I think me knocking GTA is absolutely
If your
yes.
parents, unless
but
your parents don't want to pay for it, but then
Yeah.
you can get your
yeah,
own
yeah,
money.
yeah. Besides that,
But I think it's not exactly well communicated how violent the video game here is. So here I have this box of a video game, and see, there's a big screen of what the story may be, and 18 is only small on the front over here. And on the back, it's the same thing. You have all this description of the game, but the 18 and violence part is only over here.
it's
You
true.
know, and in video game trailers, it's always PEGI 18 in the front, but it's very quick. It's not pronounced well, so some people may miss it, and especially if us it's a third party
Or
spreads
purchasing like
the
yes from another.
trailer, then
Yeah. Also, I think the content isn't shown at all in that box. On that box, obviously, if you do it online, there's trailers. If you search up what's the actual content, if this is suitable, then you'll know. But I have to agree with you on this, Riley. The companies, they're sort of like, we warned you, but it's your fault. You should have done your research. We did our best, but you don't actually give any idea on what you're selling.
we we did our best, but
But
we
We're
did
getting your money, so it doesn't matter. It's
you
your
paid
fault.
for it.
Now, should strict laws be put in place? Is it too much? No. There's no actual ways that you can do strict laws. Like,
You would have to restrict what people can buy, and that slowly becomes a dictatorship, which is a whole nother thing to discuss.
thank you. Yes.
But-
Thanks for putting that
yeah,
out.
like
But
like
all-
imagine asking for someone's ID when they're buying a violent video game. That's kind of
well, some games actually
Weird.
do that. Like personally when I ordered it, I had to be are you 18 plus, which I mean
Do you
press
click the
yes.
checkbox?
That's all you
Yes.
have to do. That's literally all you have to do. I personally think that should be all you have to do. I think it's a bit annoying if you then just have to write your whole life story. If you just have to put in your passport or your ID, I think that's
why are you 18? Because I am.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know where to go on from that. I can't lie. I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna have to edit this part out. Okay, I'm trusting you. But where was I? I just forgot what I was about to say. Keaton, please finish this.
Okay. As I said, there should be no strict laws in place. It's between the parent, the company, and the kid. If the parent
Mainly
buys it,
parents.
if the parent buys it, the game becomes like, too bad, so sad.
Yeah.
And should games be made for all ages? Absolutely not. There's some
Yeah, we can all agree no, because some people really want to enjoy their game without the censorship, knowing that this blood is covered because some 2-year-old was supposed to play this game. No, no way,
It's unfair.
absolutely not.
So now we'll be talking about the perspectives of the consumer. So, what should kids watch out for in video games?
Mm, uh, depends on their age.
Yeah, I believe.
It also depends on how mature they are.
Yeah,
See, in general, I think mostly violent things they should avoid because children exposed to violence at an early age is not exactly very good for their mental health. And it's proven from the American Psychological Association, I believe it's called. It is proven that early exposure to violent video games will result in some mental health issues later on in their lives, especially in their teens. So yeah, avoiding that kind of stuff as a child is recommended.
yeah, because I really think that it all depends. Like Riley said, it all depends on the mental state, health of the state. For example, I mean, for teens, I think if you're good with grades, if you're good in school, if you're good with if you have a lot of friends and if you're happy, then I think you should be able to play whatever game you want because you're in a good state. However, if you have bad thoughts and if you're doing bad actions, I think that you shouldn't maybe staying away from video games is a good idea, and meaning that you should definitely stay away from those. Kieran, what do you have on that?
I very much agree with that concept. Although then again, there's other factors that can come into play because if you're already being bullied at school, you can have violent tendencies. If your parents are alcoholics, then you might not have a well home situation, and video games might be a good escape for you. Escape from what you're
That's really
going
good.
That's also kind of tying into misconceptions. So, misconceptions about video games. I think it's actually like the level of violence, or like that. Actually, no, that's not true. In some cases, the level of violence is quite high, and those games are
to do.
typically tend. For example, in America, it goes up to R21. In which case, I think that the video games you should watch out for those video games. But in general, video games don't actually have that big of an impact depending on what video game you're playing. I don't think parents know that enough, that they need to watch, they need to know what their kids are playing so it doesn't actually have that big of an impact.
And there's also kind of like
Yeah,
another misconception is who plays the video games. Like, I like video games, but I'm not antisocial. I'm not.
Yeah.
I love going out. It's like going out is like one of my favorite things to do. I do like 6 different sports.
Yeah, really, what were you saying?
and yeah, that's it. Parents should also be responsible for what their children are seeing. If the parents are stable, they have good common sense, and they should stop their children from watching these kinds of things or playing these kinds of things. It shouldn't be all up to the kids.
Now, how can parents play a role in protecting their children from bad video games
Well,
or bad video games?
well, the first thing is how is the kid obtaining the video game, and how much time the kid is spending playing the video game. Because the only way for a kid to obtain the video game is if the parent gives them money to go purchase a video game or buys it for them, and then the time the parent allows them to play on it. If the parent is allowing the kid to play as much as he wants or she wants, it's of course going to be problems. So the parents should have a role in that, as in they should search up what type of games they're giving their kids, and what their kids are purchasing, along with setting a certain guideline of time that they're expected to follow.
Yeah, and I'd like to also like sort of emphasize what Kim was saying. Time limit. It is very crucial, the amount of time that your children are playing video games.
And speaking of time limit, here's our sponsor for today. Sponsored by Wix.com. If you need a domain or website, please contact them. I personally use them for my own benefit, and I think it's really good. The topic of video games is a controversial thing. And if you want our answers, we'll be there in a few minutes. All right then. So based on our two topics, here's what I would like to ask you guys. Are the parents responsible for what their children are seeing? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I agree with that as well. And for our second question, should video game developers give more of a communication if a video game is violent or not? Yes or no?
Now,
I think yes. Yes.
because
Yeah,
I believe
I
it's
think yes as well.
willful
They should be able to
ignorance
communicate
of
it better.
parents when they get those games.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for watching this.
Thanks for watching. This is our next episode is coming out very soon, so make sure to tune in to that. But and again, this is what we think. Okay? In the end, it's your responsibility to provide better stuff for your children. We'll see you in the next episode.